Get out!
A growl ripped through the marble hall like a gunshot.
Yes, you, the cheap coat. What the hell are you doing here, darling?
Brianna Carter stopped, turned, said nothing. Gregory Sullivan stepped closer, lips curling in contempt.
Unbelievable! Who lets these people onto the executive floor? Black woman, get out! Now!
I have a meeting,
She said softly.
A meeting?
He laughed in her face.
With whom, girl? A mop bucket? Look at you! You don't belong here.
His contorted uglier.
I said get out! Before I drag you out by that curly ponytail. We don't let people like you defile this floor playing fake CEO.
Silence. She blinked. Once. Because in 6 minutes, Gregory Sullivan would sign his own dismissal letter. With her pen. Let's rewind 6 hours. It's 5:47 in the morning. A penthouse apartment on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. The city outside is still half asleep, a soft blue haze hanging over the skyline. Inside, a single lamp is on. The smell of fresh coffee fills the kitchen. The quiet hiss of a steam wand. The soft clink of a ceramic mug being set down on marble. Brianna Carter stands at the counter in a plain white robe, bare feet on heated stone, tablet propped against the fruit bowl. She scrolls slowly. Her eyes are sharp, focused. The kind of focus you only see in people who used to put criminals behind bars for a living. On the screen, a confidential HR report. Charlotte branch. 3 years of data. The numbers are ugly. Minority employees resigning at 3 times the rate of everyone else. 11 formal complaints, all quietly closed. 6 black employees gone in 18 months. The exit interviews all say the same thing in slightly different words. Hostile. Humiliating. Couldn't breathe in there. She takes a sip of coffee, sets the mug down, whispers something under her breath. On the wall behind her hangs a framed photograph. A tall black man in a dark suit standing on the steps of a courthouse in Birmingham, Alabama, 1987. Her father, the civil rights attorney who died before she turned 21. The photo is the first thing she looks at every morning, the last thing she touches every night. Next to it, her Harvard MBA, her framed bar admission, a small brass plaque from the Southern District of New York, where she prosecuted white-collar criminals for 7 years. And newest of all, a simple wooden nameplate. Brianna Carter, Chief Executive Officer, Ashford Global Industries. 3 weeks in the job. 3 weeks. Her phone buzzes. It's Elaine Whitaker, her chief of staff, the only person in the company who knows what Brianna is about to do today.
You still going through with it?
Elaine asks. I am.
Alone? No security? No entourage?
If I show up with a motorcade, Elaine, I learn nothing. I want to see the building the way a new hire sees it, the way the janitor sees it, the way a black woman in a plain blazer sees it. A long pause on the line. Then Elaine exhales.
Okay, I'll meet you there at 10 with the board. Just be careful.
Brianna almost laughs. Careful of what? My own employees?
You'd be surprised.
She will be. But not in the way Elaine means. Now let's jump 700 miles south. Charlotte, North Carolina. 7:52 a.m. The Ashford Global Regional Tower rises 32 stories over the financial district. Glass, steel, a fountain out front, a logo the size of a bus mounted over the entrance. Gregory Sullivan pulls his leased black BMW into his reserved parking spot, spot number 3. right next to the regional vice president sign with his name on it in gold letters. He steps out, adjusts his tie, doesn't tip the valet. Inside the lobby cafe, he snaps at the young barista for putting too much foam on his cappuccino. In the elevator, he lets the doors close on a pregnant woman who was clearly trying to catch it. She knocks on the glass. He pretends not to see her. The doors close. Up on the 28th floor, he settles into his corner office. Gold-plated pin on the desk. Framed Manager of the Year 2019 on the wall. A leather chair that cost more than most of his employees make in a month. He opens Slack and types a message to two of his middle managers. Saw the new CEO's diversity memo. Give me a break. Affirmative action hire. She'll be gone in a year. Don't change a damn thing in your departments. We ride it out. 3 fire emojis come back. He smirks. Out in the bullpen, a young black analyst named Tasha Brown walks past, carrying a binder. Gregory spots her through his glass wall. Knocks on it. Waves her in. Brown, smile more. You look miserable. Nobody's promoting a frown, sweetheart. She nods, whispers, "Yes, sir." Walks out. In the elevator, her hands shake so badly she drops the binder. Papers scatter across the floor. That's the air everyone in this building has learned to breathe. And today the weather is about to change. 8:58 a.m. The lobby of the Charlotte Tower. Brianna pushes through the revolving door. The cold air from the marble floor hits her ankles. She's dressed down. A plain navy blazer from a department store, dark jeans, brown loafers, a little scuffed at the toe. A simple leather tote slung over her shoulder. No makeup beyond a touch of concealer. Her hair pulled back in a low, neat ponytail. She looks, to anyone glancing twice, like a paralegal on her first interview. A consultant from a small firm. A nobody. That's exactly what she wants. She walks up to the visitor desk. The receptionist, Megan, is on the phone, scrolling on her computer at the same time. She doesn't look up. "Sign in, please." Brianna picks up the pen, writes B. Carter, meeting with HR. Megan slides a paper visitor badge across without looking at the name. The badge says Visitor in big red letters. 28th floor. Elevators are on your right. Thank you. Megan still doesn't look up. Brianna takes the elevator. On the way up, a man in a charcoal suit gets in beside her. He looks her up and down, doesn't say hello. When the doors open at 14, he steps off without holding them. She catches the door with her hand. Her face stays neutral. She makes a mental note, the way a janitor sees it. The doors open on 28. The executive floor is exactly what you'd expect. Floor-to-ceiling windows, a long, curving reception desk in dark walnut, a massive abstract painting that looks like someone spilled coffee on a tarp and charged 6 figures for it. The smell of polished leather and expensive cologne. Soft jazz playing somewhere from hidden speakers. Brianna walks slowly. She's not lost. She's looking. She passes the coffee station. A middle-aged manager in a striped tie is fumbling with the espresso machine, frustrated. He spots her out of the corner of his eye. Without turning, he says, "Hey, sweetheart, be a doll. Grab a fresh carafe from the back." Brianna stops, smiles politely. "I'm sorry, sir. I'm a visitor. I don't actually work here." He turns, looks her up and down. His face hardens. "Oh, right. My bad." He says it like she's the one who did something wrong. Then he turns his back, doesn't apologize, doesn't even pretend. She moves on, notes it, keeps walking. Around the corner, She stops in front of a wall plaque. It's a tribute to past company leaders. She tilts her head, reading the names, the dates, the little brass photographs. That's when Gregory Sullivan turns the corner. He's been having a bad morning. A vendor canceled a meeting that he'd built half his quarterly forecast around. He's looking for someone, anyone, to take it out on. He spots her, a black woman, in a plain blazer, standing alone on his executive floor, reading a plaque she clearly doesn't belong near. He doesn't think. He reacts. "Excuse me, excuse me." Brianna turns. "Yes?" "Who let you up here? Who signed you in?" He's already crossing the floor toward her, fast. "This is the executive level, ma'am, not a tour stop." "I have a meeting." "With who?" "I'd rather not say. It's confidential." Gregory laughs, a short, mean laugh. The kind of laugh that says, "Oh, this is going to be fun for me." Confidential, confidential. Sweetheart, the only thing confidential up here is the salary I'm about to dock from whoever let you slip past the lobby. Show me your badge. She lifts the lanyard. The red visitor card swings on her chest. He squints at it. B. Carter. Cute. And what does the B stand for? Becky? Brenda? Brianna. Mm-hmm. He smirks. And who exactly are you here to see, Brianna? As I said, it's confidential. His face changes. The smirk drops. The lip curls. You know what? I'm calling security. He grabs the badge off her lapel, yanks it. The lanyard snaps. He throws the card on the reception desk like it's contaminated. A receptionist nearby flinches. Two analysts walking past slow down to watch. Tasha Brown, coming out of a conference room with a stack of folders, freezes. Gregory turns to the floor. His voice rises. "Everybody, heads up! This is exactly the kind of breach I've been warning you all about. Random people just wandering up here, helping themselves." He spins back to Brianna. His finger jabs the air an inch from her face. "Get out, right now, before I have you escorted out by the wrists, and don't think I won't." Brianna doesn't move. Her voice stays soft, stays low. "Sir, I would strongly suggest you call HR before you take this any further." HR? He laughs again, louder this time. "Now you want HR. Of course you do. Typical." He drags out the word. Typical. He doesn't say what he means. He doesn't have to. Everyone on the floor hears it. Tasha Brown's eyes well up. "Sir," Brianna says, "may I have your name and your employee ID, please?" "My what?" "Your name, your title, your ID number." He laughs again. He thinks she's bluffing. He thinks she's trying to scare him. "You want my ID? Honey, that's adorable." He pulls out his own badge, holds it up to her face like he's flashing a police shield. Gregory Sullivan, Regional Vice President, 22 years at this company, employee number 61803. Write that down, sweetheart. Memorize it, because that's the name and number of the man who threw your sorry ass out of my building this morning. Brianna's hand slides into her blazer pocket. 3 quiet taps on her phone. The little red dot that says recording lights up in silence. She doesn't even look down. "My building," he repeats, louder to the watching crowd. 22 years I've kept this floor running. 22 years I've made sure people like her, he jabs a thumb at Brianna without looking at her, stay on the loading dock where they belong. A pin drop. The air feels heavier. The receptionist, Megan, half stands at her desk. Sir, maybe I should check the appointment system before... Don't undermine me, Megan, he snaps. Sit down. Do your damn job. She sits down. Her face goes pale. Gregory turns back to Brianna. He's almost smiling now, enjoying himself. He picks up the desk phone and stabs the security extension. Lobby, this is Sullivan, 28. Send 2 guards up. We have an intruder. Black female, mid-30s, plain clothing, probably trying to case the place. Now. He slams the phone down. He looks at Brianna, crosses his arms, plants himself between her and the elevator. You're not going anywhere until they get up here. And then you're going to ride that elevator down with them and get marched out the front door so every employee in this lobby learns what happens when you wander in here pretending to be somebody. Brianna takes one slow breath. She looks past him for a moment. At Tasha Brown, frozen by the conference room, tears running down her cheeks. At Megan, hunched at the desk, refusing to look up. At a young white intern by the printer, mouth hanging open. She looks at all of them, and she does the strangest thing. She smiles. Just a little. Just at the corner of her mouth. Because she's been a federal prosecutor. She's cross-examined hedge fund managers who lied better than Gregory Sullivan ever could in his life. She knows exactly what's about to happen. She knows the elevator bell is about to ding. She knows who's about to step out of it. And she knows that every single word this man has said in the last 6 minutes is now sitting on a recording in her left pocket. She just needs him to keep talking for 90 more seconds. Mr. Sullivan, she says very, very softly, I really would encourage you to stop talking now. He laughs in her face. Or what, sweetheart? Or what? Oh, Gregory, you really shouldn't have asked. The elevator dings. 2 security guards step out. The older one is named Daniel Reed, 55, gray at the temples, 15 years on this job, ex-Marine. The younger one is Tyler Brooks, 24, 8 months in, still trying to prove himself to anyone who'll watch. Gregory waves them over like he's hailing a cab. There, her, get her out of my building. Daniel slows down before he reaches them. He's looking at Brianna, really looking. Something about her doesn't fit. The calm, the posture, the way her eyes track the room like she's reading a chessboard. Tyler doesn't slow down. Tyler walks straight up. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to come with us. I have a meeting at 10, Brianna says quietly. If you'd just call upstairs. Ma'am, now. Gregory steps in. He grabs her tote bag off her shoulder. The strap snaps against her arm. She doesn't react. Let's see what she's been carrying around the executive floor, huh? Bet you anything we find something that doesn't belong to her. Sir, Daniel says quietly, I don't think we should. I said check the bag, Reed. Gregory dumps it. Right there on the reception desk, in front of everyone. A leather portfolio tumbles out first, heavy, expensive. Embossed in gold on the front cover in letters anyone could read from 6 feet away. Brianna Carter, Chief Executive Officer, Ashford Global Industries. Right behind it, a manila folder thumps onto the desk. Stamped in red ink across the front, Board of Directors, confidential, eyes only. And then her pen rolls out, a black fountain pen, engraved along the side with the company crest and 3 small words, Office of the CEO. The lobby goes dead silent. Daniel Reed stops breathing for a second. His eyes go from the portfolio to Brianna, to Gregory, and back to the portfolio. His mouth opens slightly. Tyler stares at the pen. His face starts doing math his brain hasn't caught up to yet. Megan, behind the desk, makes a small noise, like a hiccup or a sob. Gregory looks down at the desk. He sees the gold lettering. He sees the red stamp. He sees the company crest on the pen. And then his ego does something incredible. His ego overrides his brain. You can almost watch it happen on his face, the flicker of doubt, the half-second of, oh no. And then the curtain comes down. The smirk comes back. Because Gregory Sullivan cannot, will not, physically cannot admit he is wrong in front of an audience. He picks up the portfolio, flips it over, sneers. Where did you steal this from? Brianna doesn't answer.
I asked you a question, sweetheart. Where did you steal a CEO's portfolio?
Daniel takes a step forward. Sir, Mr. Sullivan, I really need you to...
Reed, shut up.
Gregory turns back to Brianna. He's loud now, performing for the floor. 20 people are watching, maybe 30. Phones are coming out, quietly, held low, recording. You know what this looks like to me? Corporate espionage. That's a federal crime, sweetheart. You walked into the wrong building today. You hear me? The wrong building. He grabs her wrist. His fingers wrap around it. Hard. He yanks her 2 steps toward the elevator. Brianna looks down at his hand on her wrist. She looks up at his face. And in a voice softer than anything she's said all morning, a voice that is somehow louder than any of his shouting, she says, Mr. Sullivan, take your hand off me. Right now. He freezes. For 1 full second he hesitates. And then his pride does it again. He squeezes harder. I'll let go when you're in the back of a squad car. Tasha Brown moves. She's been frozen by the conference room for 10 minutes, her hand over her mouth, tears down her cheeks. But something in her snaps. She walks forward. Her voice cracks, but it carries. Sir, you need to stop. Please, you need to let her go. Gregory turns his head slowly, looks at Tasha like she's a roach on his shoe. Brown, get back to your desk, now, or you're next out the door. Sir, please, I said, get back to your desk. His voice cracks the air like a whip. Tasha flinches, steps backward. But she doesn't sit down. She stays standing. Trembling, but standing. Daniel Reed takes a step. He places himself, very calmly, between Gregory and the elevator. His voice is low, soldier low. Mr. Sullivan, I need you to release this woman's wrist. I am giving you a direct instruction as building security. You don't give me instructions, Reed. I sign your timesheet. Sir, Daniel's voice doesn't move. Release her wrist. Gregory lets go, but only because he wants to. He wants the room to know he chose to. He shoves her hand away from him like it burned him. Fine, fine. You want to play it that way? I'll walk her out myself. He grabs her elbow. Daniel steps in. Sir, that is not happening. Gregory wheels on him. Excuse me? Tyler, the younger guard, finally speaks. His voice is shaking. Sir, I really think we should call upstairs, just to check, just in case. In case of what, Brooks? Tyler swallows. He's looking at the portfolio, at the red stamp, at the engraved pen. In case she's...
who that says she is. Gregory laughs, loud, the kind of laugh that is 50% fear and 50% denial.
Oh my God, you're scared of a paralegal with a stolen pen?
Brooks, I am going to remember this. I am going to remember this conversation. He yanks Brianna's elbow again. Daniel steps fully between them, plants his feet. Sir, stand down. For a moment, it looks like Gregory is going to swing. His shoulder rises. His weight shifts, and then he stops. Because somewhere, deep, deep, deep underneath all the rage and all the ego, a tiny voice inside Gregory Sullivan is finally starting to whisper, something is wrong here. He doesn't listen to it, not yet, but he hears it. He drops his hand, steps back, wipes his palms on his slacks, forces a smile. Fine, we'll do it the official way. Reed, Brooks, you walk her down. I want a written incident report on my desk by lunchtime, and I want her name on a banned visitor list before she hits the sidewalk. Are we clear? Daniel doesn't answer him. Daniel is looking at Brianna. Ma'am, he says quietly, are you all right? Brianna nods once, slowly. Thank you, Mr. Reed. I'm fine. She knows his name. Daniel notices, files it away. She turns, picks up her portfolio, brushes a smudge off the gold lettering with her thumb, picks up the manila folder, tucks it under her arm, picks up the pen, slides it into her inner blazer pocket. She doesn't rush. She doesn't fumble. She moves like a woman who has not been touched. She refastens her broken lanyard with 2 fingers, clips the visitor badge back onto her lapel, smooths her blazer. Gregory watches her do it, and for the first time the smirk on his face starts to look thin, like it's painted on, like it might crack. Brianna takes one step toward Gregory, just one. He doesn't move. He can't decide if he should. Mr. Sullivan, she says. Her voice is so calm it sounds like a weather report. I'd like you to remember something for the next 60 seconds. I asked you to stop. Twice. I asked you to call HR. Twice. I told you, very gently, that you were making a mistake. Multiple times. And you chose, every single time, to keep going. She tilts her head. I want you to remember that, because in about a minute, you're going to wish very badly that you had listened. Gregory's mouth opens, closes, opens again. Lady, I don't know who you think you are. The elevator bell dings, loud, crisp, final. Everybody on the floor turns toward the sound at the exact same time. Gregory turns last, slowest, like his neck doesn't want to. The doors slide open, and Gregory Sullivan's life as he knows it ends in slow motion. Out of the elevator steps Elaine Whitaker, mid-40s, gray pantsuit, a tablet under one arm. The kind of woman who walks into a room and the room straightens its posture. Behind her, 3 men. Edward Holloway, chairman of the board, silver-haired, 71, in a dark suit that costs more than Gregory's car. 2 other board members in matching navy, and behind them, Linda Davis, the director of human resources, holding a leather binder. 5 of the most powerful people in Ashford Global, standing in a perfect line on Gregory Sullivan's floor. Elaine's eyes scan the lobby in one slow sweep. She sees the dumped tote on the desk, the broken lanyard, the 2 guards.
Brianna, with her wrist still red where Gregory's fingers had been. Her face doesn't change, but her voice does. "Miss Carter." It cuts the air like a scalpel. "Are you all right?" Every head on the floor snaps to Brianna. Every head except Gregory's. Gregory is staring at Elaine, at Holloway, at the corporate seal on Holloway's tie pin. He is doing math, fast, frantic, and the math is not coming out the way he needs it to. "Yes, Elaine," Brianna says. "I'm fine. Mr. Reed was very professional." "And the other gentleman?" Elaine asks. Brianna doesn't turn her head. She lifts one finger, points sideways, at Gregory. Edward Holloway steps forward, slowly, hands clasped behind his back. He stops 3 feet from Gregory, looks him up and down, the way a man looks at a stain on a tablecloth. "Gregory?" "Mr. Holloway, sir, I can explain. There was a security incident. This woman was wandering up here without proper—" "Gregory." Holloway's voice is the kind of quiet that makes whole rooms shut up. "Do you know who you have been speaking to for the last 10 minutes? She didn't identify herself, sir. I had to assume." "Do you know who?" Silence. Gregory's mouth moves. No sound comes out. Brianna takes one step forward. She turns to face him fully for the first time. She is calm. Her shoulders are square. Her chin is level. And when she speaks, her voice is the softest weapon you have ever heard. "Let me introduce myself properly, Mr. Sullivan." She lets that hang. "My name is Brianna Carter, Harvard MBA, JD from Yale. 7 years prosecuting white-collar criminals at the Southern District of New York. 3 weeks ago, the board unanimously appointed me Chief Executive Officer of Ashford Global Industries." She tilts her head. "Which means the building you have been ordering me out of for the last 10 minutes is, in fact, my building." The silence that follows is something you can almost touch. Gregory's face goes through 5 colors in 3 seconds. Red, white, gray, green, white again. His mouth opens, closes, opens. A drop of sweat runs down his temple and disappears into his collar. I didn't... Ma'am, There must have been a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding?" Brianna's voice doesn't rise. It just sharpens. "Let's listen to the misunderstanding together, shall we?" She slides her hand into her left blazer pocket, pulls out her phone, taps the screen twice, and Gregory Sullivan's voice fills the lobby. "Get out! Right now! Before I drag you out by that curly ponytail. We don't let people like you defile this floor playing fake CEO." The recording is crystal clear. The lobby has been quiet for so long that every word lands like a stone in a still pond. Tasha Brown puts both hands over her mouth. Her shoulders shake. Megan, behind the desk, closes her eyes. Edward Holloway's jaw tightens until you can see the muscle moving. Brianna lets the recording run for one more sentence, then taps it off. She slides the phone back into her pocket. She doesn't look at Gregory. She looks at Elaine. "Elaine, the termination letter." Elaine is already moving. The tablet is already open. The document is already loaded. She had drafted it in the elevator the moment Megan quietly buzzed her phone 3 minutes ago. "Something's wrong on 28. Elaine taps. 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 Name. Title. Date. Time. Cause. gross misconduct, violation of equal employment policy, racially discriminatory conduct, physical contact with an employee without consent, abuse of authority. She hands the tablet to Brianna. Brianna pulls the engraved fountain pen from her inner blazer pocket. The same pen Gregory had accused her of stealing 15 minutes earlier. She uncaps it. She places the tablet on the reception desk, the exact spot where her tote bag had been dumped. She signs, Brianna Carter, Chief Executive Officer, 9:52 a.m. The stylus glides across the screen with a soft hush, like a knife through silk. She caps the pen, slides it back into her pocket. She turns to Gregory. Mr. Sullivan, as of this moment, you are no longer employed by Ashford Global. Mr. Reed will escort you to collect your personal effects under supervision. Your access has already been revoked. She tilts her head. Do you have any questions? Gregory opens his mouth. This time, no sound comes out at all. Gregory Sullivan breaks. Right there on the executive floor, in front of 30 employees, in front of his own boss, in front of the woman he just called fake. The denial comes first. This is a setup. You came in dressed like that on purpose. You wanted this to happen. You baited me. Brianna doesn't answer. She's looking at her watch. Then the excuses. I've been under stress, ma'am. The Henderson account. The vendor canceled this morning. I haven't slept. I wasn't thinking. I would never normally. You did this for 22 years, Mr. Sullivan. Brianna's voice is flat. Tasha Brown can confirm that. So can the 11 employees whose complaints are sitting in a folder upstairs. His head snaps toward Tasha. Tasha, who has stopped crying, who is standing very still, who is looking at him for the first time without dropping her eyes. The deflection. Brown, tell them. Tell them I've always treated you with respect. Tell them, don't. Tasha's voice is small, but it doesn't shake. Don't you ever say my name again. Gregory's mouth opens. He swings to Daniel Reed. Reed, you know me. Tell them this isn't who I am. Daniel doesn't even look at him. Sir, please come with me. The begging. Please, Miss Carter, I have a mortgage. I have a daughter at Vanderbilt. Tuition is due next month. Please, just a suspension, a demotion. I'll take a pay cut, anything you want. Brianna finally looks at him, and for 1 second, you can see something almost like pity in her eyes. Then it's gone. Mr. Sullivan, so does every person in this building you spoke to like that. She turns to Daniel. Mr. Reed, escort him to his office. He may collect personal items only. Then walk him out the front door. Not the back, the front. Daniel nods once. Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Reed, be respectful. He doesn't deserve it. But we are. Daniel places a gentle hand on Gregory's shoulder. Tyler Brooks takes the other side. Gregory stumbles forward like a man walking through water. The walk to his office is 40 steps long. It is the longest 40 steps of his life. Every desk he passes, the employees look up. Nobody speaks. Nobody whispers. They just watch. He passes the cubicle of an analyst he made cry last September. He passes the copier, where he once told a Latina assistant to speak English in the office, please. He passes the conference room, where he'd shuck down a black manager's promotion with a smirk and the words, "Let's see if she can prove she deserves it." She is standing in the doorway right now, watching him walk by. His corner office takes him 8 minutes to clear. a photo of his daughter at her high school graduation, a coffee mug that says, "World's Okayest Boss." That's it. 22 years in a cardboard box that isn't even full. Daniel walks him to the elevator. Tyler holds the doors. They ride down in silence. Gregory does not look at his reflection in the polished steel. In the lobby downstairs, 2 more guards are waiting. His company badge is taken. His parking pass is taken. His key fob is taken. He has walked out the front revolving door he came through 3 hours earlier. The valet is the same kid he didn't tip this morning. The kid does not look at him. The kid hands him his keys without a word. Gregory stands on the sidewalk for a long moment. The October air is cool. A bus passes. A woman with a stroller walks around him. The Charlotte Tower rises above him, glass and steel, with his name no longer on the directory inside. Upstairs, on the 28th floor, Edward Holloway turns to the stunned employees. His voice carries. What you witnessed today will not be tolerated at this company. Not in this building. Not in any building with our name on it. Anyone who has experienced behavior like what you saw this morning will be heard. Starting today. A long pause. You have my word. The room exhales. The story doesn't end on the sidewalk. It's only just starting. By 11 a.m. the same morning, Linda Davis from HR has pulled every personnel file connected to Gregory Sullivan's name. 22 years, 6 filing cabinets. Brianna takes one look at the stack and says, "I want everything. Every complaint, every exit interview, every performance review he ever signed." Linda swallows. "Ma'am, that's going to take a team." "Then build one. Today." By the end of the week, the team has a name for what they're finding. They start calling it the pattern. 11 formal harassment complaints filed against Gregory between 2014 and 2025. Every single one of them quietly closed within 48 hours, signed off by 2 of his middle managers, Chad Wilson and Brett Anderson. Both men had been promoted under Gregory. Both men had received exceptional reviews from him every year. 6 black employees who had resigned in the last 18 months. 3 Latina employees in the last 3 years. Every exit interview said some version of the same thing. Hostile environment. Targeted by management. No path forward. Performance reviews where minority employees were rated, on average, a full point lower than white employees doing the exact same work. And then, the worst find of all. A private group chat on the company's servers. Gregory, Chad Wilson, and Brett Anderson. 3 years of messages. Brianna reads the first 10 and has to set down her coffee. Racial slurs, mocking imitations, photos of employees with cruel captions. A running joke about Tasha Brown that she will never, ever be told the details of. 2 weeks after Gregory's termination, Chad Wilson and Brett Anderson are escorted out of the building too, by the same Daniel Reed. But Brianna isn't done. She picks up the phone and calls the EEOC herself. Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. She does not wait for them to come to her. She brings the entire file to them on a silver platter. Agent Patricia Wilson, no relation to Chad, opens a federal investigation by the end of the month. Brianna also calls a class action attorney, personally. She tells the firm, "I want every former employee of this branch contacted. I want them told they have a case. I want the company to pay what it owes." 23 former employees sign on within 8 weeks. The lawsuit is filed in federal court in Charlotte. The company does not fight it. Brianna instructs the legal team in writing, "We are not going to litigate the suffering of our own people. Settle, quickly, fairly, generously." The settlement comes in at $12.4 million, plus mandatory reforms across the company, plus full reinstatement offers with back pay for every employee who wants to return. 6 of them do. Then the story breaks in the press. A young business reporter at the Wall Street Journal gets a tip. She digs. She talks to former employees. She talks to current employees. She talks to Tasha Brown, who has hired her own attorney and decides she wants to speak. The article runs on a Tuesday morning, page 1 of the business section. The CEO who ran a surprise audit and got told to get out of her own company. It goes everywhere. Morning shows. LinkedIn explodes. The recording from Brianna's phone, scrubbed and shortened, plays on 3 different national news networks within 48 hours. Harvard Business Review announces a case study by the end of the week. Tasha Brown does an interview on a Sunday morning show. She wears a soft yellow blazer. She is calm. She is articulate. She tells her story without crying. She finishes by saying, "I thought my voice didn't matter in that building. I was wrong." She gets 20,000 new followers in a single afternoon. But the story isn't done yet, because the federal investigation finds something else. Gregory Sullivan, it turns out, had been doing more than just bullying his employees. The forensic accountants from the EEOC's investigation team uncover a stack of falsified expense reports going back 6 years. Dinners that never happened. Trips that were personal. And worse, a vendor contract with a small consulting firm in Raleigh that turned out to be owned by Gregory's brother-in-law. Inflated invoices. Kickbacks routed through a shell account in Delaware. A total of $380,000 siphoned off over 4 years. The U.S. Attorney's Office indicts Gregory Sullivan on 2 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of tax evasion. He hires a lawyer. He tries to fight. The lawyer takes one look at the evidence and tells him to take a plea. The sentencing hearing is held 5 months later in a federal courtroom in downtown Charlotte. Gregory walks in wearing a gray suit that fits him worse than it used to. He has lost weight. His wife is not in the courtroom. His daughter is not in the courtroom. 3 rows behind the prosecution table, Tasha Brown sits with her hands folded in her lap. The judge, the Honorable Margaret Wilson, reads from the sentencing memorandum. "Mr. Sullivan, the financial fraud in this case is serious. But what concerns this court even more is the pattern of abuse of authority against the most vulnerable employees in your charge. You used your position not only to enrich yourself, but to humiliate, intimidate, and silence people who could not fight back. That is an aggravating factor." She pauses, looks over her glasses. 52 months in federal custody. Restitution of $615,000. Permanent bar from holding any officer or director position in a publicly traded company. Gregory's attorney begins a tearful statement on his behalf. The judge cuts him off. "Save it, counselor. He'll have plenty of time to write apology letters from prison." Gregory is led out in handcuffs. Outside the courthouse, on the steps, Brianna Carter is asked by a reporter if she has anything to say. She thinks for a moment. The wind catches the edge of her coat. "I'd like to say something to every employee in every company in America who has ever been told they don't belong in the room they walked into. You belong. You always belonged. And the people who told you otherwise, they were never the ones with the real power." She turns and walks down the steps. The reporter doesn't ask another question. He doesn't need to. That soundbite plays for the next 6 weeks, on every channel, in every country where Ashford Global has an office. 1 year later. It's a Tuesday morning in October. The leaves outside the Charlotte Tower are starting to turn. The fountain catches the morning light and throws it back in rippling gold. The same revolving door turns. The same marble lobby waits inside. Brianna Carter walks through it. This time, she's not in a plain blazer. She's in a tailored charcoal suit, a silk blouse the color of cream. Her hair is down. A photographer from Forbes walks 2 steps behind. She is on the cover of the November issue. But she stops at the front desk anyway. "Good morning, Megan." Megan, who has been promoted to front office manager, looks up and smiles. "Good morning, Miss Carter. They're waiting for you upstairs." "Thank you. How's your daughter?" "She loved the books, ma'am." Brianna smiles and takes the elevator up. The 28th floor is different now. The big abstract painting is gone. In its place is a long mural by a black artist from Charlotte, paid full commission. A new plaque sits at the reception desk, simple brass on dark walnut. It reads, "Dignity is not a perk. It is a policy." The bullpen is busier than it used to be. Younger, more colors of skin, more accents. People look up when they pass each other. They say good morning. They mean it. Down the hall, in what used to be Gregory Sullivan's corner office, sits the regional director of the Carter Dignity Initiative, a program Brianna launched 4 months after the lawsuit settled. Anonymous reporting hotline, mandatory bias auditing on every performance review, a promotion pipeline for Black and Latina employees whose careers had been stalled. The regional director is Tasha Brown. She has her own assistant now, a team of 6, a salary that has tripled. She still keeps the old binder she dropped in the elevator that morning on her desk as a reminder. Brianna stops by Tasha's office, knocks on the open door. "How are we doing, Director Brown?" Tasha grins. "We're doing, Miss Carter. We're doing." In the HR training room down the hall, on the back wall, there's one more frame, a single sheet of paper, a termination letter, dated October the year before. The name on it is redacted with a heavy black bar. The rest of the language is preserved. Cause: gross misconduct, racially discriminatory conduct, abuse of authority. Every new hire is shown that letter on their first day. The CEO insisted on it personally. The lesson stays. The man is gone. Speaking of the man, Gregory Sullivan is 12 months into his 52-month sentence in a federal facility in West Virginia. His wife filed for divorce 6 weeks after his sentencing. His daughter took her mother's maiden name. He works in the prison library. He has not received a single letter from anyone in his old life. The story goes that on the day he arrived, a guard pulled him aside and said very quietly, "Buddy, don't tell anybody in here what you did to that woman. Just don't." He didn't. Look, I made this story up. The names, the company, all of it. But the feeling? The "you don't belong here" stare? Being told to get out of a room you literally built? That's real for so many people every single day. And honestly, that's the part that hits hardest. Here's what I want you to take away from this one. Power doesn't always look like power. Dignity doesn't always come dressed up. The way you treat the person you think is beneath you is the most honest resume you'll ever write. And someone, somewhere, is always reading it. So tell me, I really want to know, if you'd been standing in that lobby that morning, What would you have done? Would you have spoken up like Tasha Brown? Stood frozen like Megan? Walked away and pretended you didn't see? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story hit you, smash that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because I post stories like this every week. Because the next Gregory is already in someone's building, and the next Brianna is already in the elevator. Real talk. If your first instinct is to look down on someone 'cause they're black, 'cause of how they dress, whatever, that says everything about you, nothing about them. You never know who someone really is. Just be respectful. Period. Real talk. If your first instinct is to look down on someone 'cause they're black, 'cause of how they dress, whatever, that says everything about you, nothing about them. You never know who someone really is. Just be respectful. Period.